Greetings everybody, this is the last video of 2024, the last video of this quarter of the century. It seems unbelievable that we're going into 2025, but we thought we'd bring you to this hilltop, one of our favourite spots here on the east side of Scotland, North Scotland. It's not going to be the glorious sunset that we'd hoped for, mainly because the sun's already so low. But we want to do a video today to give a sense of the videos as a kind of summary of the videos that we've done over the course of this year, some of which have been extremely important. The volume really does hide that. If you're new to the channel, we want it to steer you, this video, to steer you through all of the different pieces to give you the best sense of watching that which is most important.
So in preparing for this short video today, we went through all the videos that we produced over the course of this year, and it totals at about 63 or something. So we just simply wanted to kind of pick out the highlights from this year especially if you're new, just to give you a bit of focus to the videos that we felt were just key moments for us over the course of this year.
Yeah, so there are 60 something videos, as Mary said. There's about one a week, averages out more than one a week, and the purpose now is to steer you to the key moments of this last 12-month period, and we'll talk more about some than others. Firstly, the 4th of February, entering the realm of conflict and cost. This was a testimony piece that I did on my own to camera, and it's a very costly place that Mary and I stand in. And I want you to know how difficult that is, oftentimes relationally. And I won't go into it now, but it draws on some movie moments, clips from war-based films like Dunkirk or Fury, or I forget the others, probably Saving Private Ryan or something, when there's a sense of shell shock to the trauma associated with where we're standing.
In early April, we produced a couple of videos that are related to the Lausanne Covenant, which is the covenant that's used primarily within the ecumenical movement, and you'll find it across all sorts of organisations and churches. And this was really us exploring the depths of where this goes to, including looking at an important video that we did on the Alpha Course and Nicky Gumbel and all the related HTB stuff.
Yeah, there was a lot going on in April.
Yeah.
Then we come into May, and May the 29th through to about the 14th of July, I released an 8-part teaching series, I Am Jealous. It's impossible for us to overstate how significant this study on the jealousy of God, the jealous name of the Lord, actually is, and proved to be throughout the rest of the year, and as a pivotal spiritual formation for us. It's proved to be the kind of focus of my work for the preceding 3 or 4 months before May. A lot of resistance to this. There's lots of technical problems and so on, but that was the 8 videos that I Am Jealous that you can watch, and there's an ebook associated with that as well. I want to just touch on June the 29th and difficult Christian marriage ? See, this relates to the ecumenical false covenant of ecumenicalism, which makes up so much of the church and missions organisations. The attitude that we should just agree to disagree. We're not going into it now. We've done that. Yeah. And we've tried to help other people in different parts of the world this year with understanding that, but there seems to be a profound sleepiness to understand how significantly adrift this influence of John Stott and Billy Graham, the late men who, through British and American influence into what has become a global movement, has resulted in false doctrines such as egalitarianism becoming increasingly popular, and of course that directly affects marriages, Christian homes, Christian marriages, Christian husbands and wives and children. And I touched on this in a video around the time of June, where 3 separate friends of mine in different parts of the world who contacted me expressing their trauma and distress that their own marriages and family situations were being so negatively affected by these types of false doctrine that are supported and promoted by ecumenicalism and this Lausanne Covenant. It's horrific, and we're trying our best to go through this as quickly as possible. So that was in the middle of the year. June the 29th, I touched on that within the I Am Jealous 8-part series, because all true religion is marital. If you get marriage wrong, if you get relationship wrong, you're getting your faith wrong. It's Ray Ortland who helped us in that book, God's Unfaithful Wife, or Whoredom as it was originally titled. All true religion is marital, which means if you're in a bad relationship, or if your relationship is ungodly or disordered in some way, your walk with the Lord is in profound question. Okay, on the 4th of August, I also did a message entitled Within the Flock of Wolves, and this was a message to Justin Welby, the then Archbishop of Canterbury, and the HDB network of churches. I'd encourage you to watch that. Praise the Lord, that had a significant viewing.
Yeah, it was a very important video, that one.
Yeah, within the Flock of Wolves. August the 4th.
We did a video called Are We Unemployable, which touches on the difficulty that we've had with employment both within and without of the church, and will also make more sense in relation to some of the ecumenical stuff that we spoke about in other videos.
Yeah, August the 30th, Are We Unemployable? That was a brave decision to do that video. It was following a very, very difficult
awful
recruitment process that I went through in my ardent attempts for Mary and I to find a way forward from our temporary accommodation situation. And it was so bad, so bad, that there was no other way of concluding from that we are, to a large extent, both in the world and in the church, unemployable. I encourage you to watch that. And then into October, so fast forwarding now, but this is because these two videos, firstly on the 1st of the month, 1st of October, and then the 13th, these two videos are pivotally important and feature in one of the chapters in the book, God Closed Church, which was released extremely recently. Both of these videos go after individuals. When I say go after, what I'm doing, what we're talking about is revealing truth. Like the glorious light shining upon us now. That's what the light of God's truth does to situations that are very dark, and breeding all of these different problems, including in these marital ways. So the first of these two pieces in October, the 1st of October, a statement concerning Pastor Chris Wickland. I'm not going into it now. I've done that comprehensively, and I do that with hesitation in one sense, but also with a great deal of conviction and boldness in another. And similarly, and if anything more so, October the 13th, by which point we come to... So you can see the pattern that's unfolded here, the Lausanne stuff that's come to our mind, the Alpha curse, how all of this... And you need to read the book by E.S. Williams, Ecumenism, A Different Gospel, The Road to Rome. Again, we've gone into all of that both in video and in podcast. But you can see the connection, I hope, between these false doctrines, friends, families, marriages being genuinely at risk and threat to the point of disintegration. And then we come to Emma Stark. This is the 13th of October. Emma Stark, are we deceived? Was Martin Lloyd-Jones really deceived? Was J.C. Ryle really deceived? That was the 13th of October. I'd encourage you to spend time with both of those. And of course, this is coming to ultimately Justin Welby, his resignation in the latter bit of the year.
October the 5th, we did another pod vlog entitled Testing the Spirits, and this followed on around the time of the Chris Wickland and Emma Stark videos. And we basically listened to a series of sermons by Martin Lloyd-Jones on this very topic, and essentially we'd listened to them all and condensed our notes and thoughts on it and put it all together into a pod vlog. So we'd recommend listening to that along with the other two videos. Yeah,
there's a PDF to download so you can see our notes from that. Again, quite a few people have watched that and thanked us for the way that we've consolidated several sermons from Lloyd-Jones about testing the spirits, discerning that which is false, even if it's being said in the name of Christ, as being biblical and Christian when it's far from it. So we'd encourage you to watch that as well. So we're into November now, and November the 2nd, I did a video, John MacArthur is Very Wrong. This was following the beginning of during the writing process of God Closed Church, and a phenomenal moment where an example of the gift of the Spirit happened, the gifts of the Spirit happened while I was writing, that disproves, and it is intimately related to John MacArthur because it relates to the guy who brought a word of rebuke publicly to MacArthur back in 2015. So John MacArthur is very wrong. That was November the 2nd, a real strong polemic against cessationism.
And then on November the 12th, this followed on from Justin Welby's resignation as the Archbishop of Canterbury, and Nick did a video just an important thought about what was different to what was just been said by everybody else. We've got to learn to think about these things slightly differently, so that's an important one to watch as well.
Yeah, and that happened while we were in Canada.
Yeah.
One of the developments of this year, there's another very, very significant development that we can't tell you about at the minute, but one of them was that we went to Canada for 3 and a bit weeks, and that was a gift from a friend of ours who paid the way and gave us the space that we needed to write the book God Closed Church. Now, I worked on that extensively before we went to Canada, but we needed that final space and so on for the push to really finish it. And there were some other amazing things that happened while we were there in terms of the Lord's provision, exact provision and timing, that enabled us to bring this book out to print and to the public domain before Christmas and before the turn of the year. And I felt that was very significant, just as I'd felt it was significant in 2020 on the 4th of January when we recorded the draft. That date was significant, and so on. Then we come to the very last one, December the 16th, God Closed Church. Now, you can see these videos and related content on the channel. On the 16th of December, that was really the book's completion, where we were able to get the book and fulfill orders and post the book out. All I can say is please get the book. Please order a copy, please order several copies, send them to people that you know, send them to people that run your... and review your own church attendance, review what's going to happen in the next year, the next kind of 12-month period, if you continue to remain within church contexts that are not faithful. And I've done my very best, the Lord is my witness, to communicate what was on my heart specifically about that an extremely unusual event on the 4th of January 2020 that we were intimately involved with. The churches were closed because God closed them, and he announced in advance, if we'd be willing to listen, that was the case. Would you help us this year? Help us this year to plant a church. Mary and I are poised, ready, and you can read God Closed Church for the fuller kind of treatment of this. I'd encourage you to read The Glorious Few and God Closed Church together. There's a bundle package available, you can get that. Please don't let cost be a reason not to read. We're always more than willing, and do regularly, give books away for free, so please don't let the cost side of things stop you reading. But God Closed Church does explain that Mary and I are ready and poised now to start a church, a radical home church, and we need a home to do that. Could you help us?